Peace and Pan-Africanism, family. This is King Kong Consciousness coming to you live and direct from Sydney, Australia. I've been driving around Australia for about 3 hours, right? Check this. I've been in Australia for 3 hours. I ain't seen a black person yet. We done been to the mall. We on the streets. I ain't seen a black person in Australia yet, family. You feel me? So I don't know what the conspiracy is. Where are my Australian Africans at? I'm getting scared and worried. I don't see no Africans, family. No Africans yet. And I've been here 3-4 hours. This is your big brother King Kong Consciousness. I'm at Bondi Beach in Australia. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism at Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia, B-O-N-D-I Beach. And I'm still looking for black folks in Australia. I don't see no Africans on the beach. I don't see any Africans on the beach. My Australian Africans, where are you? My Australian Africans, where are you? My Australian Africans, where are you? I'm on Bondi Beach looking for black folks. We've been driving around Australia for 3-4 hours. Can't find no black folks. Is this a get out situation, brothers and sisters? Is this a get out situation? Where are the Africans in Australia? I ain't seen one yet, family. This is King Kong, Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia. I'm looking for black folks. If y'all seen any black folks, tell them to please hit me up. +1 215 989 9858. Text my phone. Hit me on WhatsApp. Where the Africans in Australia? +1 215 989 9858. King Kong Consciousness. Melbourne, I'm on my way. Queensland, I'm on my way. Australia, we in the building. Go! Say something. What's up? Melbourne! Candace Owens, who that?
All
We
right.
have a white woman on the live. May I help you, young lady?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. And you're joining from where?
Australia.
Australia. I've never been to Australia. I'm waiting for my African family to invite me to Australia. May I ask you what brought you to Dr. Umar's live stream?
What brought me to your live stream?
Yes, ma'am. Because my live stream is usually only for African people, and you're not an African, so I was wondering what brought you to the live stream.
Well, I'm trying to be, brother. You know, like I'm doing a solarium. I'm trying to get as dark as I can, but it's just not natural. It's just not coming.
You're trying to get dark. May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because although a lot of white women get suntan, they never want to be mistaken for a black woman. So can you help me understand that contradiction between wanting the suntan, but never wanting to be mistaken for an African sister?
Well, it's really interesting because they say don't go too black because you look dirty. Because we can't get the color that you get. Our pigment, like our pigmentation, will never get to yours, to be the same as yours. Does that make sense?
Right, but you said they said if you go too dark, you might get dirty. But are you aware that the original man and woman of this planet were blue-black? They were as black as midnight. That is the original natural color of humanity.
Are you Christian?
I'm African.
Oh, what's your religious belief?
My religion is revolutionary Pan-Africanism.
Oh, cool. How do we do that? How do I get on board with that?
Well, you can't do that because you have to be an African to be a revolutionary Pan-Africanist.
Oh, wow. So that's why everyone's like, wow, why is there a white chick joining this? I think you're cool as, man.
But let me ask you this. In Australia, I read that there's a lot of oppression against the Aboriginal Africans of Australia.
Go fuck. Why would you talk like that?
Are you listening to my question?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. The Aboriginals of Australia, the original African people of Australia, I understand they suffer a lot of racism in Australia. Would you agree?
Yep.
Okay. Have you done anything to try to address the racism against my people in Australia?
Yeah, well, my whole street is pretty much full of well, how do I say it? Well, they're not all African.
Well, if they look like me, they're African.
Well, there is some of them in my street.
Okay.
So
So you live in a black neighborhood?
yeah, I do.
Okay. What brought you to that black neighborhood?
I just went there and there was a mosque there. So
You said it's a mosque. You're Muslim?
yeah, I am, yeah.
Okay. Sunni or Shia?
Sunni.
Sunni. I was raised Muslim. Okay.
Oh wow.
So you have a black boyfriend, I take it.
No, I don't know.
Okay, good, good. We don't want you to have a black boyfriend
Oh,
because
why?
because you are taking an eligible black man away from a black woman who needs to build
yeah,
a
but that's
strong
not
black
fair.
family.
Hi.
Hello, how are you there?
Hello. But that's not fair to say that.
No, it's not, because African people suffer the most in the world. And in order for us to repair ourselves, we have to build our family. We have to reconstruct the black family. And we can only do that with a black man, a woman, and child. So,
But why? That's not correct. I could whatever cultural things that you follow as an African, I'm sure a white woman could follow them as well. Like,
here's the problem.
Yeah.
She couldn't, because the white woman benefits from a white privilege that she would never relinquish in order to support the black struggle. There has never been a white person ever who has given up white privilege to struggle with black people. They may have struggled with black people, but they never relinquished their privilege, which would make them a revolutionary hypocrite. Do you understand?
And what are they giving up? What is it they're not giving up?
The privilege. So, for example, with
privilege
yourself,
of what?
you have the privilege of not being racially profiled by the police. You have the privilege of not being denied
That's not correct
opportunity.
at all.
Say again.
She's not. Why are people so mean? Why is everyone being so mean?
Don't worry about the comments. Don't worry about the
They're
comments.
so rude. People are just so rude and judgmental. Why don't they?
But you have to put the judgmentalism in context. We have over 1,000 years of direct contact with white people. And in that 1,000 years or more of direct contact with white people, African people have not been treated fairly. Would you agree with that?
I'm not aware of the statistics. But
Okay,
if that, but I could say that potentially yes, I could imagine that.
Okay,
yeah.
So you are aware of the racism against the Aboriginals in Australia, correct?
Yes, but it is getting much better. My neighbor is Aboriginal, and I love her.
Okay, so when you say the racism is getting better, can you give me 2 examples that will help me understand why you feel it's getting better? What has changed for the Aboriginals in Australia, my African brothers and sisters?
Well, for your African or for the Aboriginals?
It's the same thing. The Aboriginals are an African people.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty much like for childcare, family daycare centres. So we have like a family daycare centre, and we put we had someone come and do all Aboriginal like chalking at the front of the house.
Okay.
Putting all Aboriginal things inside the actual childcare centre. Like, there's also a lady who comes to your house and she teaches the children how to play like the didgeridoo, those sorts of things, read some books. So yeah, like they implement that a lot, and I love that. And
Let me
even when my daughter goes to a oh my God, I cannot handle these comments. People are so rude.
so let me push back a little bit.
So fucking rude.
Let me push back. The things you mentioned, the daycare, learning how to play the games, those things do not change status or the access to opportunity of Aboriginal.
Currently, but you were actually just racist because you turned around and said that a white woman would not be able to
Marry a black man.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, because it's not about hating you.
Yeah.
It's about building up ourselves. Do you
But
understand?
your cultural beliefs or your cultural needs or whatever it is culturally you need from a white woman, why could I not give that to you? How do you know that I wouldn't give that to you? How do you know that?
Because only the black woman, who is the oldest and most ancient of all females, can provide the oldest and most ancient of all males with the spiritual and psychological energy we need in order to reach God consciousness.
Well, have you tried that? Have you tried being with a white woman? Or has anyone tried?
Never, absolutely not.
Why?
See,
so then how could you say something if you haven't tried it? That contradicts everything that you're doing because you're actually doing something all based on statistics.
But listen,
so now I'm saying to you, have you tried it? No.
The European is melanin deficient. You have a melanin deficiency.
Yeah.
That melanin deficiency affects your ability to reach higher states of spiritual growth. And so when I make love to my wife, when I reproduce with my wife, the two of us making love is an act of oneness. So in that moment,
do you think it's appropriate for you to talk about you making love with your wife online?
Well, listen to me. I'm not speaking of sex.
I know.
I'm speaking of spiritual
you're saying
intimacy.
making love, same thing.
Well, I think it's appropriate.
You think she would appreciate that?
Listen to me. It's appropriate as long as you're not being vulgar, right? Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is, if I reproduce with a melanin deficient woman, that will restrict my ability to achieve God consciousness. See, the black man and woman are the oldest in the world. So we are the closest.
Be quiet. Can you please say something to these people? They're so nasty.
You have to understand.
It's 9:15 a.m. in Australia, and I have 2 children. So, yeah.
What is your nationality? May I ask?
I'm Scottish.
Scottish. I haven't been to Scotland. Okay.
Yeah.
How do the Scottish feel about black people?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. How do you feel about black people?
I love them.
You love them?
Not all of them. I'm scared of some of them because, some of them are a bit like crazy. But
some black people are crazy. In what way are they crazy?
Like some of them are not like the exact same as a white person.
Okay, so you're saying there's crazy blacks and crazy whites.
Yeah.
But is it possible that the whites made the blacks crazy?
Well, I don't see why not.
Okay. What will you teach your daughter to believe about black people?
We are equal.
Okay.
Don't you dare ever say a single word. Simple. We are equal.
Okay.
I will because I'm Muslim, I would actually tell her that I believe, like we all come from dust. Okay. And
so you are a white Muslim, correct?
Yeah.
Were you born into Islam or did you convert to Islam?
I converted to Islam.
How many years have you practiced Islam?
8 years.
8?
Yeah.
So your husband is Muslim?